Hi, everybody. I'm Myranda Love here with Ninja Growth Strategies, and I'm here today with our guest and client, Steve Tefsky, who's an executive leadership coach, and I'm honored to have you with us. Steve, will you just briefly tell us a little bit about the work that you do with your clients?
Hi, Myranda. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I've been an executive coach for the last 9+ years. And I work with folks and help them get out of their own way to become better people and create the relationships and the personal and professional relationships they're looking for in their life.
Amazing. I know you do a lot of really good work for your clients. So you have been working with Ninja Growth Strategies and with me for about 3 or 4 weeks or so now. And so if you don't mind, we're just going to kind of share a little bit about your experience, about kind of your journey, about what you were doing before you came to Ninja Growth Strategies, and talk about a couple of the different shifts that you've been going through so far in the program. And if that's where we kind of go, it's just let me know a little bit about kind of how you were marketing yourself and what you were doing before we started working together.
Okay. Where should we start?
Well, just if you let me know. So what was the typical, you've been at this for, you said 9 years, and I know that we found each other on LinkedIn, and so that's how you were kind of typically marketing already on LinkedIn. So what were you doing there?
I was working with a local marketing company here in the Phoenix area, and I was using LinkedIn and sending out invitations. We were connecting probably 50 to 65 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not targeted marketing as much as from my perspective and how I was getting that. So I was having a lot of introductory calls and really not having conversations that took me to the place that I really wanted to be. While I knew I was sitting on a gold mine, Myranda, it wasn't always that way. I would have great months. I would have terrible months. I didn't have any consistency in my message. There's no consistency in goal and time.
Okay, and you were talking to people a fair amount of time, weren't you? Kind of just.
I was probably talking to 10 to 15 people a week. So I mean, there was a lot of people, but a lot of introductory calls and maybe 2 or 3 coaching calls a week of all the people that I was talking to.
Okay, like a serious ones. I don't know, you had been like, I think it was February or so that you had enrolled your new client. You had ones that you were working with, and you've been doing some amazing work for your clients. So one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit was when you've just commended you about the way that you've shown up and have been coachable, resourceful, and decisive, and really kind of mission driven, on very committed to the work that it is that you're wanting to do and following the steps. But specifically, like how resourceful that you were whenever you kind of wanted to take your business to the next level, and kind of how I found you and you wanted to kind of be a part of this. You were extremely resourceful. Do you mind talking about that just a little bit?
It was, I coach people on the fact that when you make a decision,
mm-hmm.
Nothing else, the facts just don't matter. And so what I did was I had some bad experiences with my previous marketing company, and I didn't want to make a decision on a marketing company based on money or time. And so what happened was I ran into like 5, 6, 7, I think you were the 7th or 8th person that I spoke with about marketing and coaching practice. And what happened was I said, I got on the webinar, I followed the steps just like I did with everyone else. And I said, you know what? And he said, let's do it. And I said, but I stopped and I prayed about it because it means something special to me. I said, if I'm going to get this done, let's get it done right now. I made 2 phone calls. Got it handled like in less than an hour. It was handled because it was the right place and the right time. And I said, okay, I'm in. And when I make a commitment to get in like that, I have to participate full board or it just doesn't work. I've gone against what happens to me. And so it's almost an abomination for me not to be full board and take care of everything I'm supposed to do to make things happen.
That's awesome. It is a testament to how kind of committed that you are, and how whenever you're right, whenever it is you make a decision like this is something that you want, and how the resources just simply show up, and how you've also then by being resourceful in that way to become a part of this and to up-level your business, you that's how you've shown up in the group as well as a client. You've shown up resourceful and coachable and very much kind of dedicated and committed, and so that is a testament to you as well. And it is because the kind of the specifically, like in the first week or so, you were kind of doing all different things. You're an executive coach, and you had worked with, C-level, C-suite kind of different people, and you helped them with their relationships, you helped them with their business, you helped them with their leadership skills and communication and just whatever it was that they were stuck with, and you helped them kind of go to where it was that they wanted to go. And, kind of the work that we do, we want for you to, the secret charging high ticket is specifically kind of for an outcome, charging for an actual outcome and being able to help your clients get that and better than anybody else. And so we spent a little bit, your mind kind of, we had a little bit of work around that. And everything that sounded like you were doing, and we came up with, you help people be more of a powerful leader. Is that something that you very kind of speaks to the outcome that you actually do help your clients create?
We've forgotten, and the people that I deal with and the levels that they're at, we've forgotten who we are. And we don't realize that the things that we have are right on our fingertips. We already have them, and we've just forgotten that they're there. And so I'm more of a wake-up call for people that are ready to say, hey, I'm ready to take my game to the next level. And it's like, you already have the next level. All we're going to do is recreate what you've already got. And we've forgotten the fact that we're powerful people.
Your phone's ringing up, people wanting to pay you money. Clients are chasing you down, calling you. That's what you wanted. Instead of you calling clients will be calling you.
And so for me, when I first got started with Ninja, I really had to change my mindset, because it took me from a one-on-one to a group concept, and I had to realize that my enrollment was different than what you were teaching me, and I had to really step back and look at myself and go, you think you're right, but it hasn't been working. Let's try something new and see how that works. And you know what? I've noticed it growing and growing and growing. The transformation, I think, is somewhere complete. But it was from, I know what to do, to, oh, you know what? I haven't been doing this. I haven't been doing that. Okay, this doesn't work. What is it that's going to be the best part for me to use? And I've noticed it when people are setting up now through Ninja, people are setting up phone calls with me instead of me setting up phone calls with them. And it's coming through to a point where I can speak to them about really where they're coming from, and know that this is not how I handled it before, and I can hear the difference in the way I speak to people and how they're responding to me. And it's wonderful, because I'm really in control of what's going on now, and I feel like this has been a real blessing, how it's come about.
That's awesome, Steve. It is, because it helps you kind of get very specific and be able to help the people get to the root of the issue of the people kind of on that initial phone call, and clear with that message about the people that you're speaking to, very clear about how you can help them, and kind of very kind of much, instead of just, that's upper level type of conversation where you're not really getting a chance to enroll the people or help the people that you could have helped.
Right. And people don't realize that they are in control of what's happening, and that they can really, really do some powerful things if they just stop and take a look at what's going on. It's a transformational. It's really getting to the source of something that's going to work once you've practiced it enough to make it work in your life. Just like with you, I've been practicing regular basis of what I'm doing, and keep rehearsing and keep practicing. And the more I practice, the more I rehearse, the easier it becomes. And so the fear factor is like, I've been doing it this long all my life. What am I going to do now? Is you know what? Just practice it. Yeah, it was rough when I started, and you heard the first few phone calls I did. And it was rough, and it was not good. And it was just like, okay, keep practicing, keep doing it. And all of a sudden, it's to a point where, practice is, repetition's the mother of skill. And it's just all of a sudden it becomes natural, and you just kind of go, oh yeah, I know how to do this. Oh, I don't need these notes. I can throw those away.
Exactly. Learning a new muscle and learning a new skill will be something that will be able to take somebody from that you've never met before, they've never met you, into like a cold connection, and be able to, or at least be speaking to them is where you are kind of right now as we're working with your webinar, but enroll them into your program. It's amazing.
And it's funny, because a lot of people fear the phone, and they don't want to get on the phone, and how to make a call and what's going to happen. And when you know what direction the call is going, and before you pick up the phone, the call is so much easier. There's no intimidation, or there's no intrepidation of picking up the phone, that 500-pound phone that we have out there. Oh my God, I got to call this guy or this woman. I don't even know who they are. And it's all gone, because it's a more natural conversation you're going to have with people. And it's like the things that we think that we fear are really nothing at all. And it's just a matter of, I ain't scared, I'm prepared. I've done this before. Myranda walked me through this. It's just a perfect setup. Great.
Awesome. And thank you, Stephen. I know that you said whenever you were you're not afraid of the phone. You're used to speaking to people all the time. You were speaking to many of them. But the first time that you actually kind of started using a little bit of more of the recipes, that we help our clients do that enrollment success, that you did say, just to speak to what you just said, you were, for the first time in your life, or for at least a long time, you were a little bit nervous on that.
I was scared to death. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do a recipe. I had the recipe in front of me, and I was reading from it. I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, because you would be speaking to people, though, but they were not necessarily, you were speaking to people for free. You were giving out a lot of free advice, or maybe getting referrals, but nobody was, you could talk to people all day long, but whenever it comes down to it, you're not necessarily, you were not able to make those shifts for them that you could have made if you had a little bit more of a different way of approaching it. And
absolutely.
And that's where you are now, which is awesome. And then we also helped you kind of you and I went back around a little bit, and you inspire me. I will have to say that for sure. And all my clients want to do that, but which is why I want to share my gifts to help you share your gifts in a bigger way. And so your mission, if you don't mind sharing a little bit, kind of the work that we do, with our clients kind of right away, is help you get kind of very clear on your why and your mission of who you serve. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your mission with us?
I teach and coach people to be big, and how to think big and outside the box. And I wrote a mission statement and realized how small I was. While I'm teaching everybody else how to be big, where are you, Steve? How small are you, and what are you doing? And I wrote something that was really big, and then I realized that it wasn't big at all, and I had to make it big. And so what it does is it inspires me to wake up in the morning. It moves me to think about, I'm getting a lot of no's. I'm getting a lot of rejection. I'm getting all this stuff. But you know what? The mission is not about that. It's not about who the no's are. The mission is who the yeses are. Mm-hmm. And I found out that the yes lives in the land of no. That's where yeses are. And so by going through the mission, it helps me through all that stuff that comes on, because you know what, we're emotional, and we get involved in this stuff, and it's just like, oh, this doesn't work, this is terrible, what am I going to do? I'm supposed to do this in 5 minutes, and I'm sitting here for hours, and the mind starts beating on us and starts tearing us apart. But when you're focused and you look at the mission and go, no, that's not what this is about. Here's what I'm doing. Here's why I'm doing it. Here's what makes sense. I read it in the morning when I wake up. I read it at night before I go to sleep. Yes, my house is a little in disrepair right now because I'm moving. Right? Yeah. I'm processing moving. But it really gives me the sense when I speak it, when I see it, when I feel it. It's just like, bring on the world. I'm ready for you guys. And I've had relationships with people like that, but I haven't had that relationship with myself. And it's really, the mission statement's really been powerful for me. It's a powerful tool that I would say to anyone that doesn't have a strong mission statement should call you for that and pay you a lot of money for it. It was a lot.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. I know you're on a mission. It was like 10,000. That was originally to impact the lives of 10,000. And that was my original mission too, was by 2020 was 10,000. And then some of the work that I kind of was going through, I was like, I want to be a little bit more specific. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a little bit more specific. And 10,000, okay, do I want to really 10,000 or 1,000 by 2020? So I kind of downsized based on some coaching that I went through and downsized my mission to 2020. And then whenever you put 10,000, I kind of gave that little bit of that same back to you. Well, as I was typing it back to you, I'm like, you know what? I think that I said I should up my mission. I should up my back up to like that 1,000 didn't ever really settle with me as well. And what you told me, you're like, Myranda, this is something you need to know about me. You're like, 10,000 seemed too small to you. And that high five, that is awesome. That is awesome, which is why I love working with you, because I know that you're going to hit those goals and you're going to be empowering those people. And that is how we all can impact and share the abundance and share the knowledge and make the world go round, and share our unique gifts in the way. And about the one-on-one, because you've always worked one-on-one, and you would have people kind of,
Right.
and you would have them assign very much kind of committed people, so who you're looking for. And you were also looking more for, whenever you came to me, looking for the successful CEO, and the successful executive was what you had been searching for. And then whenever we talked about it, it's like, if they're already successful, they're already the successful leaders, then, why do they necessarily need you to kind of create that? And so where we kind of talked about it a little bit more, where your sweet spot was actually a little bit more with helping the people who, the newer leaders or the up and coming leaders or the middle ones who wanted to take that next leap or take their business and their lives to the next level. What are your thoughts about that?
It's interesting that I've been marketing or reaching out to the wrong people for a while, and not knowing that I needed to. While I had all the tools, I didn't know where to go with it. It's not about their age or who they are. There's a gentleman that I spoke with a couple of days ago that's his late 40s, but he's new as a startup. He's got an entrepreneurial spirit, and he says, I really don't know how to do this. And so it's not so much. I was after people that were already successful, and most of the people I speak with are successful, but they're ready to take their game to the next level. And the example I always use was like a Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods in golf, when Tiger Woods was in 2008 was at the very best of the very best in the world. He hired 3 coaches because he wanted to learn how to be better for what's next, for what's powerful. So I went from a very small group to a much larger group of people that I can help. I think that's, there's gold in them there hills. I mean, if you're only being able to touch, 10 people versus touching 1,000 people, it changes the game.
You're going to get to your 10,000.
Yeah, it's going to change it changes the game dramatically because now you're looking at a scale of, oh, you mean I can do all of this stuff and help all these people. Now there's a way to do this, and you do it by working the Ninja program, by doing it different ways than I've done it in the past, making it something that's workable rather than something I'm right. I'm the good guy. I know how to do this. This is easy. I can do this all by myself. Yeah, well, I haven't enrolled a client since February. How's it even going these days?
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, you're extremely amazing expert at what it is that you do. And what is sad is that where you were not able to share your gifts to help people, by maybe trying to reach the wrong people or going at it with a different approach. And one of the things that you were like, the reason you wanted to work with the successful, most people that do, whether I speak to them on the phone or the clients or they come to work with us, or a lot of people out there, they're like, I want to work with the people who have money, to pay my high ticket. They think that I've got to work with the people who are already successful or the people who have money in order to pay those fees. We don't limit. We should not make decisions. We have to, not make decisions based on another person's resourcefulness. If you have a way to help that person get from where they are right here to where they want to be, and you can be that bridge or that shortcut to help them, and they're committed to being there, they will find a way. They will. We're all wonderful examples of that.
I spoke to a gentleman this morning that's in his mid-30s, and he's working a full-time job. He's got a tremendous business that he's put together, a tremendous plan that he's got, and he said to me, I said, do you have the resources to work this? He said, no, I don't. And I said, do you know how many people do you know with money? He says, oh, I know a few. And so we worked a program that he can offer to some of these people, and said, Steve, you know what? He says, I love you. I think you're awesome. He says, I'm going to come back to you. Let me put some of this together. Let me take what I just learned with you and put this back together. And here's a kid that's going to be a zillionaire because he's got such a great product. And you have to give them the space to live their dreams. You've helped me walk these people into their dreams and how to make it happen. Because the question I asked him was, how is this going to affect your life? What's this going to do to you? He says, this is awesome. He says, it's going to make me a multimillionaire probably in the next year or two. And I said, so you don't want to spend a couple $1,000s to make $1 million in the next couple of years? Oh.
All day long, right?
And then he was in a hurry to get off the phone with me. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure, because they do. People are whenever they. I mean, I know as my career as an entrepreneur, definitely. I've been extremely resourceful. To get to where it is that I want to be, and you have as well. You have as well, and with the one-on-one in the group, I know that was something that you had always done your work one-on-one, and okay, let's really to leverage your time, Steve. You want to because you want to be serving those 100, 10,000 or million, million, hundreds of thousands of people that the impact that you want to. But you also want to be golfing, right, Steve?
Yeah, I'm a golf coach. I was a golf coach, and that's actually what helped me get into that. I coached in business. I was a consultant in business for many years for the stock market, for healthcare industry. In the software business, I was a coach to a lot of the salespeople, outside and inside. And I left the corporate world to eat, drink, and sleep golf. I had my teaching credentials in golf. And so I stopped playing when I got professional. I had to stop playing because there was so much work to do. So now I'm no longer a professional golfer, and I can go play golf again. So I do my best thinking and my best strategizing when I'm on a golf course because I'm free and I'm open, and I kind of set it in motion. Like, okay, I want to come up with a plan in this round of golf. I want to come up with a plan that'll help me. And it might be at the 19th hole. It might be at the break. I don't know when it's coming. It might be Heart Girl stopping to sell me something and does something to me, just like, thanks. And it's right in line with what I asked for. And so I have to go there sometimes, and I forget because I get so involved in what's happening that I end up not going places because I want to get this work done. And sometimes it's really good to take a break and go out and play a round of golf and just like, oh yeah, I'm refreshed. I feel better. I'm going to sit down. And I got something out of it while I was out there. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but that's kind of my love. I've always loved that, and I've met some clients on the golf course. In fact, still play a lot of golf with clients on the golf course now. It's people relate to that. No, I'm not interested in coaching. Can we go play golf?
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, people take their game to the next level, in life and their business and in other ways as well. But you specifically kind of realized that with that one-on-one that you were limiting yourself, not the lives that you could touch because there's only 168 hours in every week, and even if you're booked solid and you sleep, some, you still can only help so many people if you're doing it that one-on-one. And so we're working with you to put what it is you do in that group format, and you really realize that.
Well, that group has led me to believe that I can do 5 or 10 clients and probably work just as hard as I was with one. So it's really simple when you stop to listen to it, but I'm the man.
Yeah. Awesome. And you have seen too, as the way that we do and the way that I run our group format, and you kind of seen how you were like, oh, well, the people, they won't really get that one-on-one or necessarily, but you kind of see how I, manage and run our group there with the different business coaches that I work with. And you, in the time that we've been working together, have you lacked personal attention from me, even though we've been doing it in a group format?
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, I learned by listening to you coach them techniques that I hadn't thought of using for myself. So I not only get to hear my story and listen to you how you coach me, but I get to listen how you coach others. And so when I get other people, I have other tools that I didn't pay for, that weren't a part of it, that I'm hearing in the group, and it's a wealth of knowledge. It's an incredible ongoing growth that I love. It's been wonderful for me.
That's awesome, because it is something that it's a little bit of a shift. People think that the only way that you can make a big impact with people is to do that one-on-one. And actually, when you have a little bit more of that structured environment, that you're right, you learn way more than what, by proxy of the people in the group, and by hearing different things, it makes you stronger because you're around other executive coaches and business coaches in our group. And then also, as your group is forming and you've got your outline and very much kind of what it is that you're going to be doing with your group program, the work that you do, and you're going to be building it as you go. You're going to, once you take your first client through and your second one, and you're already, I think, practicing on Zoom here, and you have different ways to record it. So you're able to kind of start recording your material, and you see how you're going to be able to put your group together and make a big impact in that way.
It's a lot of fun. Instead of getting panicky and saying that, I don't know what I'm doing, what's going to happen. I struggled with some of the technology side with you. I didn't know how to set this up. Myranda, I don't know how to do this. And I drove you crazy and finally said, okay, here, Steve, this is how you do it.
You got it. And you know what? I got your reminder. You made some changes, I think, in your calendar, maybe between the little bit. I did get a reminder email from you just from your calendar booking.
You know what I did? I turned it on and I turned it off. You know the part that you showed me? All I did was turned it on and turned it off. So if a reminder came up, maybe that's all it was.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because I did get a reminder for that. So wonderful, because we were you're like, I got it set this thing, because we were going to look at that. Well, I do kind of, then we started kind of tapping in and growing your connections of your new kind of identified in a very specific way. And I know that you said you probably, I don't know if you have the numbers in front of you, but just in the last, I think 3 or 4 weeks or so, do you know about how many new connections of your ideal targeted market that you kind of connected with on LinkedIn? In that automated way? I think you said last report it was like 5.
When I started with you, as of this morning, I'm up about 825 or 830 new contacts as of this morning. Awesome. And I sent out invites today, so it's probably more than that. It's probably another 30 or 40. Okay. I would say I've also contacted not only an additional 800, but I've gone back and almost contacted the 5,500 that were in my contacts before I met you. So it's been an overall plethora of talking to so many people, and some people really aggravated and some people really excited about it, and you know, and it's just like anytime I get on, you know, I get these messages and they start bothering me. Where's the mission statement? Where did I put it? And it just kind of goes away, because you're going to get all kinds of responses from all kinds of people, and you just have to understand that. One guy sent me a really nasty letter, and he said, Myranda, he says to me, you have one chance, Steve, to let me know why I should stay connected to you for this lame excuse you call marketing. Oh. You have one chance. And I said, my response was, do us both a favor, disconnect.
Oh, yeah, interesting, because you're looking for the ones that you can serve, and in that same time, you know, you had 4 calls booked, you know, on your calendar, you know, today with the people who are more the right people who are ready, and your job isn't to serve everybody, and everybody's not ready at the right time, but whenever you do have that little bit of that different approach, you know, you're able to go back through, I call it shake the money tree, but really it is reaching the people that you are supposed to help, and if you don't find those people who you could help, they're going to suffer for too long, you know, that you would be able to help them. So it's more about that whenever you put that focus on your mission. I mean, on your mission, and not necessarily on the different people. It's like, yeah, my job isn't to you know, have everybody in the world like me. My job is to impact the lives that I came here to help.
Well, and you know what, that goes so against that attitude that you're speaking of, goes so against what we're raised at. You know, we're raised as kids that you have to do the right thing, and you want people to like you, and you can't say that. It's politically incorrect. Don't say that, and don't go there. It's the wrong place to be found, and nothing good happens after 12 o'clock. You know, all these things that we were taught, but when you stop and realize that you have a choice, you know what, you're going to make a difference. And running after 10,000 people, if you tell me no, I'm elated that you have the guts to tell me no.
Make a decision. Yeah.
Thank you very much for saying no to me. I'm not going to waste any time with you. Next.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want people to like me. I want people to thank me.
There you go.
That's what I want. That's what I want. You know, and those who are going to tell me no, or those who, you know, aren't my people, or the ones that I wasn't supposed to help, then, you know, they can like me or they can't. I'm me, and I know that I have gifts to share, and, you know, you're you, and you know that you have gifts to share, and, you know, the thank yous that have already come in, you know, for you for the work that you've done, and just even the, you know, the enrollment calls that you've been doing now. I mean, people are telling me thank you, you know, for the shifts that you're helping with them then. And so you're currently working on your webinar, Steve, and so we're super excited about that. And that's going to be we call it your one piece of killer content that we're working on. And do you want to tell us a little bit about your webinar and what we can look forward to from Steve?
We pounded it out the last couple of days, and folks, if you think that putting a webinar together is a piece of cake, you got something coming. It's just not.
One that works, anyways, right?
one that's gonna drive your business to where you want it to go. It's not a piece of cake. It's not simple. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
And after talking and conversations and stories, because I'm a storyteller, after telling Myranda a couple of stories, what happened was she figured out how to put this whole thing together, and all of a sudden, boom, it just made sense. And sometimes we have to learn to take that skill that she's so good at, is listening and hearing what people are saying to you and really putting that into place. Because once she heard what I was saying, she said, that's it. This goes here, this goes here. And we had to redo the whole thing all over again. And she stopped at one point. She said, are you angry with me?
Yeah, you thanked me right before that. You're like, oh, can I just tell you, I love you for helping me with this, or thank you so much. It was like 5 minutes later, you hate me yet? Well, you'll thank me later is the key.
And it's nowhere near complete. It's still a lot of work, and I happen to have about 18 or 25 things other things that are going on in my life right now. And so I have to calendar everything to make sure that I'm in line with it, because there's some things that I just can't ignore. So it's funny because the mission statement keeps me in line, but the webinar is aligning me in the conversations and the calls that I'm making with people, because I'm using that base that we talked on. I'm putting the webinar together to add into the recipes that I've learned. And that and it makes it work just like that. So if you don't answer, I know now in a couple of minutes if you're serious or not. I mean, I know. You just, when you have a phone call and you're going through the recipe going, this isn't going to work, or this is exactly who I want. I mean, you just know by the responses, by the questions you're asking. A gentleman, one of the calls I had today, the gentleman said, I said, why did you have this call with me? What is it that you really wanted? And he stopped for a long time. And when you ask a question, it's really important that you learn how to shut up.
That's a gift. We're working on it. Still, I'm going to have to hire you to work with me.
And so I waited for him and he finally said, to be content.
Oh.
He said, I called you because I want to learn how to be. And I got all these things, all these responses are going through my head. What do I say? How do I do it? Oh, it's a mess. And so I said to him, what does that mean to you?
Mm-hmm.
And he stopped and he got a little emotional about it. He says, well, I want this in my life. I want that in my life. And finally the call ended with, what are my next steps with you, Steve? Tell me what you want me to do. And yeah, he's got some issues, and I'm not going to work with him right away. But because of
he's got to be resourceful
and being and helping him be resourceful and getting those things out of people by being patient and listening and taking the skills that are going on through the calls that we do, it's marvelous thing. It's really a great training tool.
Wonderful, wonderful, and we're no longer closing or selling, because selling is not something
the webinar will be complete. The webinar will be complete. I just don't have a date to tell you when it will.
It is awesome. That webinar is going to be really, really amazing for not only for you but for your clients. It is what it's all about. It's about the lives that you're going to be able to make, the shifts that you're going to be able to help them make, and to have them step into their personal power and be that powerful leader that they've always been.
I think the
really good stuff.
I think the one thing you say about the webinar is you have to say something to them that no one else is doing. And I think and that's what we discovered today. And I think as coaches, as people that really there's something that you do that's wonderful that nobody else does. And you really have to go through and search yourself out and take some time to find that. Because I was so excited about the webinar after we got done, because you know what did I say to you? This is me. This is exactly what I do. And when you get that, and then all of a sudden you look at it, you go, oh, I got this. This is cake. I have to change this. I have to move this. And it was funny because that's when you said, do you hate me? Because now I have to go back and change this and move that and do that.
Yeah, right after you were like, oh, yeah, finally, this
statement I made up here makes no sense because it doesn't fit well.
It's gonna flow really well. I'm excited about it because it is going to be help people really very much have that kind of that culture and that leadership and that organization, and take their lives and their business to the next level as well. And what is important about the webinar piece, that one piece of killer content, is then from there, you're right, like your talking points, that what you're identifying there about what you stand for. I mean, as a person, Steve, and as a coach, and about how the work that you do for your clients. I mean, it's going to be all laid out in there. And then those will be not only then whenever your clients come to you, they've already watched that, they're ready to go, or at least they know more about you, and they've linked what it is that they want to you, and that call helps them do it more. But you're able to use those talking points and at those, how you're different, or the old way, or the weaker leader, what we were talking about today, or the more powerful. Right. And you're going to be able to use that going forward, and all your talks that you do, and you can make articles out of it. And I know you talk to a lot about different. You have different groups there locally that you speak to, and so it'll be anytime you're having conversations with people who are asked to speak, as you often are, you'll be able to use that, and it'll make people just identify themselves as like, okay, yep, I want to be that powerful leader. That's Steve. He's the one that I know can get me there.
For sure.
So I'm excited about it, Steve. So a lot of exciting things to come up for you. And where can people out there, if they are kind of the up and coming CEOs or entrepreneurs, and they've now found themselves into a role either in middle management, or they found themselves into a new role where they aren't exactly sure how to handle things. They have a team now that they either have to form, or a team that they have to direct, or an organization that they have to now be the one. People are looking at them to lead. And how can we contact you? On LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn. You can Steve Tefsky. I have email. You can get me through email all the time, or my phone. My phone rings all day long, so I never.
Yeah, what's that phone number? Yeah.
LinkedIn is probably the best way, because there's references there. There's people that have written about me and the work that I've done with them. All the references there are people I've coached. So you can get a really good, clear picture of who I am and what's happened with me, and where, while it's not all there, most of what the important things I've done is present there, and I can walk you through anything you're doing. I think what people really need to hear is they have the ability to do exactly what it is they want to do. They already are. They just don't realize it. And that's where I can help people, where I can turn them on.
Awesome. Help them take their power back and step into that new role, that more powerful leader.
Mm-hmm.
David, I cannot tell you how much you've been just simply a dream client, in the way that not only, a lot of people talk the walk, or, talk different things and this and that. Oh yeah, talk a big game, but the way that you have, without a doubt, I mean, just, in this last several weeks that we've been together, how just right away, how resourceful that you were to get in the program and started, you started the next day. I mean, you started right then, very much ready to go. And I think on the very next, the call that next morning, and just resourceful to get in there, and you've shown up consistently like that, each and every day, and every time, and in our group, twice weekly that we met with the group calls, and the way that you kind of followed very much, even though it's something that's different and new, and I'm not sure about this. You have been open-minded, you've been coachable, and you have all the steps, and you've been moving, and you've had different deals that you've been kind of finalizing and things with your clients, and you have without a doubt not let anything from showing up and doing the things like what you ask of your clients as well. Say what it is that you want to do, and do what it is that you say it, and that is what you've done. And you're doing it right now, and it's going to pay off to you amazingly well. Pay off to your clients too.
Integrity is key. If you're not going to have integrity in your life and do what you say you're going to do, don't hang out with me. I'm the wrong guy.
That's awesome.
And so I have to be that person with others as well. That I have to look at that and go, I committed to this. I don't feel like it today. Well, you know what? I don't feel like it today, but you know what? I'm committed. I have to do it. It doesn't matter.
That's a wonderful testament to us all, an example to us all, to me as an entrepreneur as well. Whenever we have so many luxuries, where we, work from home, do different things, and there's always other opportunities that we can do. But whenever we've got, we said we're going to do something to, actually to be there and be focused and to do the work and to show up and make that big impact that we wanted to make.
Some of my best coaching, Myranda, is when I didn't feel good. I mean, I was sick. I injured myself. I was just, lifeless. But people would say something to me, and it's like, God, Steve, and they come back and tell me all the time. And I wouldn't tell them that I'm sick or something's bothering me. And they come back and go, that was the best session I ever had with you. And you're just like, I just want to go lay down.
That is interesting, and I say that because I've listened back to some of my enrollment calls and some different things, and where I feel like it's early in the morning, or I feel like I'm not kind of really on it. It's whenever I seem to have more of those shifts. So I wonder if you and I, whenever we're high energy type of people anyway, so maybe whenever we naturally kind of get toned down a little bit, that's whenever other people can kind of hear a little bit more of what it is that they have that space to take those shifts. So. But you have been a wonderful example, and I just can't wait to see all the amazing things that you're going to do. And if you're looking for an awesome leadership coach, Steve Tefsky is the one who can help you.
Thanks, Myranda.
Thank you. And it's been Myranda Love signing out here with Ninja Growth Strategies. So if you are a coach, a business coach, or an executive coach, or career coach, or you work to help businesses or professionals save money, make money, or live better lives, then and you want to kind of take your program to the next level, and you're looking to set up enroll high ticket clients in a group program, then visit ninjagrowthstrategies.com. I've got a free web class there, and if you want to go ahead and be ready to take that next level after you watch this and you want to book an appointment to speak with me, you can visit ninjagrowthstrategies.com/grow to book your appointment, and then you'll complete a short pre-call form, and we will let me know a little bit about you, and I will, either me or one of our growth coaches here at Ninja Growth Strategies will give you a call, and we'll help you as well. All right, that has been all for us here. Thanks, Steve, so much for joining us. Thanks, everybody. Signing out. Bye.